left off, though. If you look up there, you can see the hole. Yeah, that was in the center of the room we were just ringing the bell in. Demonstrate as follows. Yeah, while I was getting things ready for the stream, I accidentally leaned on my controller and walked right off. You notice how it kind of caught at the, looked like some eggs up there? Yeah. Chamber is full of them. Usually, and usually when you're playing online, there'll be a hint there. If there's not, it seems kind of suspicious. Yeah, the area which is completely clear in the midst of the rest of it is actually a secret passage. This will lead to a covenant. We will not be dealing with them just yet. The other thing you may have noticed, especially if you're going straight from the end of the last stream to the start of this one, is I have 12 humanity instead of 2. That was just me using the item dupe glitch twice, the some Firekeeper souls. I'm going to make one run through Blighttown on the way back, and I wanted to be at at least 10 humanity to maximize our item discovery. Here's another bonfire. This is this is, as you probably saw, the start of the demon rooms. There's 2 reasons for coming here early. The first one is there's another bonfire right after Quelaag. There are a couple things to do later. At the moment, there's just the one really. Well, no, not quite. No, quite. There are a couple things. I'm gonna go ahead and get our. Let's see, what would be some good? What do we really need at this point? We're going. Oh, sorry, we're gonna need decks. So let's get some decks. Let's get some resistance. Let's get some endurance. Eventually, we're going to want strength. Oh, actually, yeah. Let's hold off on the rest of it for now because we're going to need some souls. Oh no, we'll be getting them. Yeah, there is a boss coming up. Basically, it's kind of what I'm prepping for here. And if I die, I want to be able to get my souls back. So might as well use them up. Yeah, let's just stop there. That looks good. Now, this guy is pretty infamous as one of the very few bosses that has a non-standard way of beating him. I will be showing that off this time. I'll probably be LPing this game at least once more. It's one of my favorites. So we'll fight him conventionally then. Oh, I'll go ahead and give it a shot. I'll go ahead and try to fight him legit the first time, and we'll see how that works. Let's see. What makes it easier is that, as you can guess from all the lava down there, this boss will be using fire attacks. If you have access to pyromancies, you can use a spell called Flash Sweat that will go ahead and, take care. It'll mitigate the damage quite a bit that he can do. And there's also some shields, like I have the Dragon Shield, and that's a good one, that will also help deal with the fire damage. It'll blow through. I mean, his attacks. This is a big guy. Here he is. His attacks will blow through pretty much any kind of block you tried to do, but you can still, mitigate some of the damage. You notice he's not aggressive yet. Name hasn't popped up. His health bar hasn't popped up. Yeah, he's actually peaceful at the start. Not for long. Let's make sure I'm in light encumbrance. I think I am. Yeah. Alright, let's do this. Opening up with a heavy soul arrow because I have one of too many opportunities in that fight itself. Alright. This is his main form of attack. He uses that tentacly arm. Ooh. And sometimes attacks twice. And that was just me forgetting the timing on the second hit. You can see how easy it is to dodge them. It's pretty much just you kind of keep even to him and strafe. So we'll just be trying that again. Other reason why, if you're going to fight him, you want to do that first, is because he stays peaceful. Well, not aggressive. Let's go with that. He starts off not aggressive. As long as you don't trip his trigger. I will at least go ahead and show that off. Yeah, if I die again. Well, I might give it 3 times the charm. I have had some issues with boss fights in here, just getting used to the timing and dealing with Dark Souls again. And there's a little bit of a delay between the last stream and this one. I'm trying to figure out a schedule. Basically, I'm brand new to this. I think I mentioned that before, and finding out when you have the proper time for the blocks of time. You're getting everything ready. It just takes some getting used to. Here we are again. Yeah, as you can see, let's letting us pick up our bloodstain. No questions asked. You probably also noticed that even with magic weapon, we weren't doing much damage to him with his physical hits. That's because not only do all of our things that boost magic damage not apply to our buffs, like the Crown of Dusk, the little tiara we're still wearing, and and a kick for good measure, and the bellowing dragon ring. Yeah, none of that applies to the damage we get from the buff spell. We're also only using a +5 weapon, and this guy's actually a late game boss. We're expected to be dealing with him when we go to the basically second, I say half, I guess the last third, would probably be more appropriate, of the game. Well, he's been pretty cooperative with these basic attacks. I think that was the... Oh, I was thinking that was going to be the 2-hitter, but apparently not. Alright, looks like magic weapon wore off. As you saw, that fizzled out. Yeah, locking onto him targets his body, which is... You tend to end up pretty far away from it. Ooh. Yeah, I started to roll that one, but I was still in range when the hand came down. The splash on it is pretty big. Yep. I do love some of the one-hit kill animations in this game. Just being hit so hard you kind of flop backwards. And unfortunately, there's not really anything we can do to avoid being one-shot. I mean, our vitality is pretty low, and I believe he does both fire and physical with all of his attacks. Those might be just physical, but in any case, it's just so much damage that there's no meaningful way to resist it. And if I put on heavier armor to try to get as high a defense rating as I can, especially against strike, I mean, there are... I don't know if I mentioned that before, but yeah, you see in the bottom half of the middle column there, physical defense, it can vary against the different types. And any given attack, enemies as well as yours, can be regular, strike, slash, or thrust. And yeah, I imagine it's probably regular, but it could be strike. Alright, take 3. After this one, we'll be doing it the easy way. And really, it's not that... I mean, fighting Ceaseless, however you do it, is probably the easy way. It's not really that tricky. It's just that one mistake will kill you. Alright. Yep, it's me again, buddy. I also need to remember to stay closer to the edge here, so I can't hit him with spells. Oh, that one actually missed completely. Yeah, as you can see, he looks like he's not that far away, but I just simply didn't hit him. Interesting. He doesn't use that attack too often. Ooh. Well, 3 strikes, I'm out. I'll go ahead and show off the easy way of beating him. How it works is that he is actually guarding something. And that would be the remains of... Oh, is he... looks like a body? Yes, the remains of a Witch of Ceaseless. Alright, he'll go ahead and do that. That's pretty impressive, getting killed on the pretty much guaranteed way of doing it. Oh, and yeah, as you might have noticed, that's why I spent all my souls earlier. I had a feeling this would happen. But yeah, the robes, as you might guess from You know, somebody who had involvement with the birthing of the Chaos Demons, very high fire resistance. So we're just going to go ahead and do that. Okay. And blood seems pretty much useless to us. You'd think that you could hide behind these columns or something to get away from that fire attack, but there's really no defense. The only thing you can really do is avoid taking the critical damage from being hit while you're running, or I managed to at a leisurely gait, get in front of it that time. Yeah, basically, if you're in a animation that makes you vulnerable, running, jumping, attacking, you take a counter hit damage. And yeah, the same thing kind of happens. Sometimes you'll see a much larger spike in damage that I take from enemies. Okay, we'll wait for him to come all the way back around. And he will. Alright, fun begins again. Wait for it. Okay. Interesting. I've actually had to do this a couple times, trying to get him to. Okay, now I think we're good. Yeah, he has that move too. We're kind of. Oh. Sure, I hit well. Running. Disappointed if I don't beat Ornstein and Smoth on my first try. Calling it now, I'm going to get destroyed by them, but. Maybe it wasn't because I hadn't healed up last time. Let's try that. Make sure I'm at full health. Also, I may have been hit with the physical part of that move, too. Let's try to roll. Oh, there we go. Actually avoided cleanly that time. At this point, I should be fine just to run all the way back. Nope. Well, I am now, at least. Yeah, if he can reach you, he'll try to do that range attack if he can't use anything else. But it does have a range. It only goes so far, and as you can see, it goes very far, and it goes through everything, which is pretty frustrating. But yeah, it does have finite reach. Okay, and once you get to the part where it all started, with the. Okay, here we go again. This is what we want. Looks like he did that fire move again. Let's see, what are we dealing with? No, okay, he swung. Alright, no, this time we're going to go ahead and probably do the route I should have done the first time. You're supposed to wait a little bit so that splash of lava as he gets himself out of the ground doesn't hit you. Yeah, the wait just a second, and then basically run there so he doesn't stop and attack you, and just force him to chase you all this way. Now, the reason why this works, if you take a look down, okay? If you take a look down, there's actually a chasm down there. And yeah, we will die if we try to drop down there, and guess what? So will he. Yep. Off he goes. Now, of course, with as big as he is, the fact that it's lava down there and he's kind of lava too, you'd expect him to probably be able to survive the drop, but regardless. And all the way down there is actually an area we'll be getting to later. One of the awesome things about Dark Souls 1 is that pretty much everything, well, and there's some differences, of course, terrain in the far distance and everything, but pretty much everything you see, you'll be able to get pretty close to, if not actually, visit. Right, with him done, that little as that cutscene indicated, that drains most, not all, but most of the lava down there in the next part of the Demon Ruins. I went ahead, since I did die and became hollowed again, and I lost my bloodstain and my humanities, I'm going to go ahead and use the glitch again on those Firekeeper souls and restore them, because I want to be human to show off a out-of-order meeting with a friend. Not these friends. Actually, I might as well. Yes, these guys. You saw one of them briefly at the entrance to the Chaos Covenant. Yeah, you actually can. These two are the only ones that start off hostile to you, instead of just running around lamenting their fate. The eggs are full of maggots. It's yeah. If you're a melee build, this can actually be pretty tricky. They jump at you and do a fair bit of damage. Not a problem with magic, of course. Just to kind of show off how much of a mess I could be in. There's also something else they do that's pretty interesting. We may go ahead and show that off later. Okay. Yeah, much like that, basically. Yeah, they're low to the ground, they're tough to hit. They do a fair bit of damage for how quickly they attack. Yep, and they have that same blood spew attack that the mosquitoes do. One down. Ooh, wrong move. Meant to do. With them kind of lined up like this. Meant to do that. And there we are. Yeah, once again, you're seeing that really tiny area of effect on soul arrows. I don't even know why they have it, really. Okay, Firekeeper Soul. There we are. We'll go ahead and reverse hollowing. Get myself a drink while the screen is coming up. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and save those souls for buying stuff from Shiva when we head back to Blighttown proper. For now, we're going to want... I don't think we'll need the regular soul arrows for this. So let's go ahead and get Big Body for a reason I will show later. And let's go ahead and upgrade to Great Heavy Soul Arrow. Pretty substantial damage between them. Damage difference between them. Okay. Now, and I just realized that we'll be showing something else off out of order. Yeah, we were talking with one of the viewers from last time about the Capra Demon as the boss of the lower undead burg. We saw his fog door and went past it. Well, as it turns out, there's one. Over, yep, right ahead. There's also more Taurus demons, too. Yeah, quite a few of them. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I think there's, and there might be one or two more even further back, around 10 of them. Let's go ahead and change back into some better armor. We're not going to be needing fast roll with this. So let's go ahead and do something like that. We're still in... Okay, we're still in mid-roll with that. Good. Buff up. And yeah, the Capra Demons are pretty infamous, the opponents. They dual wield those... They call them machetes. They're more of... kind of like... They look more like meat cleavers than the actual ones that the Butcher uses. Yep, there's a lot of damage, has pretty long reach on them, too. I think he's also a precursor to Power Stancing that you later see in Dark Souls 2. And that's, yeah, that second hit from the Claymore staggered him. Quite the charge time on that, but definitely worth it, as you can see. That one great heavy soul arrow did about as much damage as 2 of our Claymore swings. A decent amount of souls from him, too. Okay. Now, the reason why we grabbed Hidden Body is to deal with this event coming up. Gives a little bit of time to fight out on our terms. But yeah, in addition to Maneater Mildred, we can at times be invaded by NPCs. And, oh, he's not... Interesting. Well, we can. It looks like it's not happening here, though. Maybe it doesn't until we've gotten the next... yeah, you see that golden door? We'll be dealing with that later. I'm thinking that our interloper doesn't appear until we're ready to do that. Okay. Well, no problem. We'll just put that off for later then. And if you didn't have enough fun with the first Taurus Demon, let's go ahead and deal with some more of them. And this is, again, mostly to make sure I have enough souls for the purchases to come. The first couple will attack you one by one, as long as you approach from an angle that you kind of approach slowly once you get close. They do aggro from quite a ways away. There's one. And in Hidden Body, the secondary use for that was the fact that that also shortens the range of detection from enemies that have to detect you visually, like these guys. And I kind of rolled toward him there to show off how you can basically do the same thing in the... oh, I mistimed that one. Well, you basically do the same thing the first time you fight him. Most of his swings have a minimum range. And if you're inside that range, then they'll just go right past you. Yeah, we're definitely running into the limitations of a +5 weapon in these areas that are in the last, the second half of the game. Let's see, I think I'm geared up pretty well otherwise. And another difficulty too, as is pretty apparent by now, is armor isn't quite as... Well, the Souls games, armor works differently in them. Like I think I mentioned last time, the last stream, that has some measure of damage reduction, like a percentage, and then a flat amount that it simply negates. That amount is very small, and it basically only matters if you're turning. It kind of works like DT in Fallout New Vegas if you've ever played that. You know how if you have enough of it to screen attacks like these like submachine gun bullets and stuff down to minimum damage, it works quite well. But if you don't, it doesn't actually make a lot of difference. And it kind of works like that here. Once the enemies start doing so much damage to you, it doesn't really matter, what kind of armor you have, unless it's really good. What's more important is, like you saw there, the fact that I'm using a greatsword two-handed increases the stagger amount that it does. That's the same as poise damage. And yeah, if you can cancel an enemy's attack like that, that's sometimes even more useful than doing more damage to them. Alright, recovering our bloodstain. Got a lot of souls on that. And this time we're going to go ahead and try to get an early shot on the Taurus Demon as it approaches. Start casting early and then tap the lock-on button. So, yep, so we lock on as he arrives. He doesn't normally stagger in one R2 like that. There we go. Oh, not quite enough. There we go. But what caused that is the fact that spells can also cause stagger. They have their own poise meter. That's why I was able to... Oh, I think I got... Oh, I got all three of them. That is not ideal. I'm probably going to die here, so let's go ahead and get closer to where I can get my bloodstain safely. Alright, there's the... Okay, there's the hill. The hill to die on, as it were. Okay. Yeah, I really should have been using hidden body there. I wonder how far I can lure these guys back. Let's make sure I'm actually going the right direction so I don't fall off the cliff here. Ooh. Well, I guess no. I guess hopefully would have been only getting one of them. That's the one we want. Yeah, you can see that even the shockwave actually did some damage to me there. Alright, get some distance. Oh, looks like the other one's backing away at this point. It looks like they only go so far. Try to switch targets in mid-cast there as when I saw him coming back. Because, yeah, one more will take care of him. Alright, the other guy has started backing away. Which means I should be able to tag him with one of these. Alright. Come on, buddy. There we go. Alright, so that's 4 down, I think. Come around the long way. And we'll go ahead and try this trick again. Just to make sure we're only luring one of them in. Yeah, I'd forgotten just how useful the spell is compared to normal detection range. You can basically walk right up into lock-on range, and they don't notice. And the best part is we can go ahead and get the attack, and only the person we hit is the wiser. Oh, and that broke the attack too. Okay. I must just have fought these guys with ultra greatswords or something last time. Like, I'm constantly misjudging the range on this claymore. There we go. Get some hits in. Thought I did fit triangle to switch back to. Yeah, that's a big advantage of having a ranged backup land. Being able to just do things like that when they hit those big telegraph swings, you can just get out of the way and punish them. Alright, we got one left. We still got plenty of great soul arrows left. And as before, we go ahead and hit the button early. Retreat. Oh, nice. And those two staggered him, and we finished the job. That's how a pure mage would do it. Oh, interesting. Doesn't that figure? Getting the rare drop on a character that can't really use it. All right, there are a couple goodies here in the lava. Yeah, my plan here is to take advantage of the fact your bloodstain is placed a couple seconds before you die to go and do this one, and kind of bank on having enough health to get this safely. I'm not going to get it and come back alive. And if you wait until the game expects you to have the item to just survive the lava, it's a very limited use to you. So that's the reason why we're still wearing this. We have basically the highest fire resistance we can possibly get, 200. And there's a ring that can raise it too. Obviously we don't have it. And this might give us one extra hit. Why not? Go ahead and put that on. Okay. Then we're going to go ahead and hope the best. Got it. That's an ember for a blacksmith we haven't met yet. We're back into Blighttown. I mentioned you can see how much longer our poison gauge is this time than last time. The outfit I'm wearing, I mentioned that's Witch of Islith robes. We don't actually know that in character at this point. The first one you actually get to meet, have to deal with him. But yeah, the first one you actually get to meet in game shows up if you have at least a +10 Pyromancy Flame when you get to Blighttown. Oop, you misjudged that. Another armor with no poise, always has makes fights like this a little more difficult. There we go. But yeah, she appears right here if you have a +10 or higher Pyromancy Flame when you get to Blighttown. Since we're not using Pyromancy, we're only using sorcery as the Spellblade run. We had no point in doing that. We don't even have a Pyromancy Flame yet. You get one by starting off with one, or by rescuing an NPC in the depths. All right, here's the real reason why we came back this way. In addition to doing some exploring,
hello again.
It's to
Strange
visit
to
Sheath
meet
again.
away from the clan and the forest. But while you are here, how about some equipment? I love collecting these things.
Have
But I
some
can
equipment.
only
Don't mind
keep
if I
so
do.
many. And you are a friend. I've
Yeah,
said
that part
to you.
not so true. Yeah, I think the idea is, kind of looking up, but it's more of a facepalm gesture. I'll go ahead and show that off. Alright, we are going to definitely want a weapon that uses bleed, that deals bleed, rather. Claw's good for that, and it's cheap. Get that. If you don't get lucky and have one of these drop from a Taurus demon, and that includes the very first one, you can buy one from him. Likewise with the machete from the Capra demons and the stone greatswords from the stone knights. These are also dropped. This one you find later on, so I don't need to purchase it. And this one there's only another one of, and it's held by an NPC. You have to kill him. And we don't plan on doing that, so let's go ahead and purchase it. This one's also unique. And I think we may go ahead and do so as well. The strength 20, we probably will be able to get strength 20. Probably not much higher than that, but 20 is doable. So let's go ahead and get that too. He also sells a ring that's designed to be used with the katana to cut the durability loss down. I think that works with... Oh, right. Almost dead here.
Suits me fine. I'll be seeing you.
I made a little calculation that the poison wouldn't quite finish me off. I don't think it would have, but it would have been close. So yeah, probably for the best. I I checked after all. And I don't think... Yeah, oh, that's true. I can use that. I can use the rest of the stuff. To make my job a little bit easier, since I already have... of the areas I already have the stuff I need, I'm going to go ahead and make it harder for the enemies to follow me. I love this spell. It only requires 16 int too, not a huge investment. And yep, pretty much they just gave right up. They're right there. And don't know where I am. Now, enemies can track you by hearing as well as by sight. I don't know if it's if it's an issue where an enemy has to use one or the other. See, I don't think he dropped anything. No, you can kind of see the glow from inside the leech if it actually drops something. Yeah, we're just gonna do one quick run through the bottom part of Blighttown here and just grab some goodies. The goodies, and among those goodies that I mentioned are the leeches themselves. They are one of 2 enemies before you get to the next plot location that actually carry. Oh, I'm gonna get poisoned if I keep up with that. Who cares? But one of the very few ways of getting before you get to the next dungeon, large Titanite and green Titanite. Large Titanite is used on the main upgrade paths. It's a raw, crystal, regular. It would be obviously the most important one there. And the green ones, okay, the green ones are used for the alternate paths. That's your fire, magic, divine, that stuff. One issue with the leeches is that they're you can only attack the mesh itself. I guess I'm not sure what the technical word for that is. So it's very easy to just miss them. Oftentimes when they're just kind of bouncing towards you, ranged attacks just go right under them. It's also one of those areas where a bow is pretty much superior to magic. With even just a couple upgrades, you're going to go ahead and one-shot them the same as I am with my basic soul arrow, and you have no chance of pretty much no chance of missing with an arrow. I had heard at one point that when you were poisoned, Estus would heal less damage. Doesn't seem to be the case here, though. And this is also where I just realized going through here and dealing with the poison and using Estus and everything, that my initial plan... Oh, well, that was weird. That my initial plan was actually to head back the way I came, the way I arrived here first. Back up the wheel and the areas over there where the blowgun guys were and all that. And that's where you actually find the spell. Okay, I'm just running into an invisible wall here. And that's actually where you find the remedy spell. It is a spell, not a miracle, as you might expect. And this would be legal for for the Spellblade to use. But I ended up forgetting, and as you can see, it doesn't make much difference. Poison simply isn't that much of a problem in this game. So yeah, not quite enough to one-shot them with one swing. I mentioned the Server is one of the occult weapons I used last time. It drains a very small amount of HP on a hit. Considering it's a curved greatsword, those hits are not very fast and not very quick in coming. This is one of the most unsuccessful runs I've had dealing with the leeches. Now, only one. Well, I think I got 2. I think I did get 2 large Titanite. So I probably have had worse. There's been times where I've only gotten 1 item. Never a run where I haven't gotten any, at least with 10 humanity. You can see the infamous Blighttown frame rate issues. It's not supposed to be. Even though I am trudging in the muck, it shouldn't be reflected by how slowly the game's running. I don't think I've mentioned it before, but you see that splash of yellow light on me. How that works is that if somebody kindles the bonfire you last rested at, your anchor point, or using homeward and stuff like that, then you get a free Estus added to your total. Do that again. Oh. Interesting. Okay, that was a little bit off. Let him do his thing. There we go. Bait and punish. That's pretty much Dark Souls 101. The one green Titanite shard. The reason I'm a little vexed on that one is that if the leeches have a chance to drop, and about an equal chance, as far as I know, either a large Titanite shard or a green shard. If you get lucky and it rolls the green one, it actually gives you 5 at once. Very nice. I didn't quite make it. I was kind of hoping I would. Alright, just need to... Oh, that didn't work. Okay. And I was planning on going back up this way to deal with... to grab an item and get a couple of other things that you can get... that you're normally supposed to get on your way down from Blighttown. This will lead to the upper part. We're not going to be going back that way, since there's not really anything there for us. If you're using Pyromancy, or even if you're not really using it, but you have the attunement slot and you think you might as well, one of the most useful spells in the game is actually along the way to Blighttown. It's the Power Within Pyromancy, which is just a generic buff to your damage, your stamina recovery, in exchange for taking 1% of your health in damage every 1% of your health in damage every 60 seconds. Okay, I was kind of afraid of that. I really should have. This is the big reason I wanted Remedy, to be able to deal with the toxic. As it is, what I'm going to have to do is grab the item that I came for here, and then quickly go use a homeward back to my bonfire before I die. And let's go ahead and use Hidden Body again, because we don't have to deal with those mosquitoes. Saw the first one as we left the door. Yeah, you see how, just how short a detection range he got. He didn't actually see us as we walked right up to him. Ah, ragdolls. How far are we going to take this guy? Oh, okay. I was just kind of joking at first. This is kind of, there we go. I was starting to get worried. Alright, we're going to go ahead and use it again, because I happen to know that we've got a pretty obnoxious fight coming up if we deal with both of them at once. The boulder-throwing giant undead, well, they throw boulders. They do a lot of damage, pretty much can't be blocked, and they have a couple of attacks with them. Oh, yeah, when I rounded the corner, he actually lost track of me. Let's go get his attention again. This time, she should go ahead and follow, now that the spells weren't off. Just making sure nobody else is sneaking up on us. Okay, good. Yeah, unlike Ceaseless's fire attack, most enemy attacks are actually destroyed by walls and solid objects. Okay, he's not going for it. No, fair enough, fair enough. Looks like he was done with that, and... yeah, and the rock itself counts as a shield as well as a weapon. If you try to attack head-on, yep, as you can see, it just blocks it. That's their primary attack with the rock. They go ahead and roll it, and just do a good old boulder roll right at you. Ah, yes, the prize. I didn't get to do any... there are so many jokes you can make. Find your favorite one, and I didn't do it last time with the three barbarians on the way on the back way to Blighttown. But yes, all of them have a chance of dropping that, and all of them have a much lower chance of dropping their weapon. It looks like these guys don't have one. Actually, they count as using pickaxes. I guess they were undead miners or something. But yeah, they'll go ahead and use those and drop those. The other ones will drop their clubs, which are very useful strength weapons that have a small amount of bonus poison damage. Alright, now he's ready to join the fight. Generally what'll happen is they'll go ahead and throw rocks, gradually moving closer each time, until they're close enough to trigger one of those melee attacks. Yep, like so, there's the pickaxe. In the RPG game GURPS, where kind of like one of the more realistic, modeled games, They actually have they separate out like how you deal damage in melee from swing and thrust, and then they have swing and thrust, and then they have piercing, and they have different types like piercing, slashing, impaling, and stuff like that. And picks are actually one of the best weapons because you swing them and they have the point. You know, they can do a lot of damage potentially. In Dark Souls, they're just I believe they're just a hammer that deals thrust. You know, it's still useful, but the unfortunate thing is with how ubiquitous the strike weakness is. Well, not as much as in Dark Souls 2, but still quite a bit. You'd probably rather have a hammer that does hammer things instead of a hammer that does piercing things. Alright, back to the bonfire with us, and we are on our way out now. Alright, let's go ahead and roll this time. Now, if I remember right, we do have some bugs. Yep, right there. We've got one of the bigger bugs, really. Right there. Let's go ahead and deal with them real quick. Nice. The thrust that, like, a lot of people will go ahead and show some disdain for weapons that have a backup thrust attack, like, you know, the Walter's side sword, for example. It's like, why would you bother using that? Just use a rapier, just use a shield. And the answer, of course, is that it's that flexibility. Because sometimes, I mean, usually you want the slash. Sometimes you just need the poke. Likewise for this one, the fact that the two-handed one becomes a overhead, it makes it easier to deal with things like that. We dealt with the first blowgunner on our way up. So I think there's 3 or 4 left. Hopefully this will let us get close to them. Yeah, excellent. 1 down, 2 down. There's 1 more in here. Got him. And those guys, because especially when you run into them in Blighttown, can be positioned in such a place where when you hit them, they fall to their deaths. We'll go ahead and will automatically give you the item they drop. I'm kind of curious if it's random what you get, or if it's fixed, because they can drop and they can drop either the regular purple clump, which is what all of them did in my case. They can also drop the blooming one, the one that cures toxic. And sometimes what you kind of have to do is, especially if you arrive the first time and you haven't bought any blooming moss clumps, and they're the least likely to drop from the shrubs. You may actually not have any of them when you get to Blighttown the first time. Glad they did that. You know, the dogs tend to just do their pounce attack, and yeah, it is kind of amusing. They're red, so they breathe fire. I guess that's just how it goes. I don't know if they have a proper name or not. Everybody just calls them hot dogs. You know, it's too good a pun to give it to pass up. And yeah, they have a pretty short detection range as well. I was wondering if I'd have to use the hidden body, but yeah, not so much as it turns out. And that's it. Our reward is our 3rd Firekeeper soul. I believe 3rd. Yeah, pretty sure 3rd. Then we go back up, and not the way we came. Now, normally at this point, you can go ahead and take the ladders and just completely retrace our steps from the back door, and that will take us right out of Blighttown. There's one other stop we need to make, and I don't know if you saw it. I think you have to do it from this one. Yeah, I think you have to do it from. Oh no, it's yeah, it's from one further down. Yeah, from here. But that branch, or that tree that's kind of in the middle of this, actually, yeah, over here, yeah, there we go. The middle of this can actually be walked on. Oh, no, oh, as soon as we deal with the ones that would try to knock us off first. Okay, There we go, got that one, and then we'll go ahead and toss a... Yep, that's what we have them for. And notice again another hidden body to go ahead and keep us safe from distractions as we cross this thing. A lot of times, to help kind of center yourself, just go ahead and hold the block button. Even if you don't have a shield, it'll still like, you know, it'll help you. Might be completely placebo effect, but it always feels like it does. Excellent. And we have a couple of things to get here. This is one of the things that one of the viewers mentioned last time, that one of the most useful things about going Blighttown early is to get the Crimson set and the Tin Catalyst. If you're doing a pure sorcery run, I couldn't recommend that more. The Catalyst actually is the, I'm pretty sure it is actually, it's the worst in terms of spellcasting. You know, it has the least modifier to your magic attack. But it's a spear. You know, it does thrust damage. It does quite a bit too. And it can be upgraded, but early on, which is obviously when we can get it, you can get here right after the gate, as long as you have as long as you pick the master key. And why wouldn't you? It's the most useful gift. But yeah, as long as you have that, you can just come right in here straight from Firelink, pretty much. And it's one of the best things you can do. There's one more, I believe there's one more ladder on this level. Oh no, it's not. Yeah, how this works is, yeah, you can either go back down and go back across the branches. Due to the way they're curved, I usually die when I try that. But this is Dark Souls. Gravity doesn't really mean much unless you're over a bottomless pit. So we just go ahead and take a running start and land, and we don't have to worry about it. Instead, now we go ahead and finish it. Back up the ladder. I'll back up every ladder. And I can't count the number of times I missed this ladder. They have torches next to them. That's your hint for where the ladders are. But especially your first time playing the game, it's easy to miss those or not know what the significance is. And just kind of the fact that everything's brown. Yeah. Well, for some parts of it, everything's green. For the walls and everything's brown. Another one of them. Yeah. And yeah, it's just easy to miss some of them. At least it was for me. I don't know if anybody else has had that problem. No more enemies once we deal with these guys. We're going to go ahead and use our last hidden body. And now, normally, when you get back to Firelink, you've just picked up that Firekeeper soul, and you think it's a great time to upgrade. Well, if you think that, you're probably new to Dark Souls, because if you've killed Lautrec for his magic ring. Now, that's an option too, but he's gone, and the Firekeeper is dead. Yep, he's the one hunting them. That's why he was imprisoned right next to the free Firekeeper soul in the parish. And with her dead, we can't actually use the bonfire here. The exact same thing happens if you run into any of the other Firekeepers and you kill them. The bonfire they watch over goes out. We can't do anything with it. So you have two choices. We can either go back through Undead Burg, use that bonfire, or just use a shortcut here at Firelink to get back to the church.
Oh, hello. Well,
That's what I'll be doing.
Keeping at it.
I don't think we need anything new from him. Oh yeah, we did need this. We did need this. Good.
All right.
All right.
That'll do it. That should help you on your merry
Now, before we move on with the next dungeon, we're going to go ahead and, first of all, find an actual bonfire. And then that'll be Andre's bonfires when we're going to be using. Then I'm going to go ahead and upgrade the Uchigatana, and we're going to go ahead and use it to take out the boss on the return to the Undead Asylum. Let's go ahead and get him out of the way. And I believe we'll also go ahead and let's go ahead and take out the Capra Demon first and do the first part of the depths. Get the large ember. I think that'll be more useful immediately. mean, the Undead Asylum pit stop is great for souls, and the item it gets we will eventually need. It's pretty rare. Basically, the boss there will give us a Titanite slab, and there's only a handful of them in the game. That's the final item to upgrade a couple of the paths. You know, the basic ones typically. The normal one, crystal, and lightning, I believe.
I know what you're thinking.
Yep.
But I'm no good with those.
Yeah, Andre handles
It won't be easy.
the normal path and the
I'm
divine
afraid you'll
path.
have to look.
We'll go ahead and use some. Oh, we don't have any Titanite. Okay, well that's what we have the extra souls for. Go ahead and purchase. Takes 9. I'll go ahead and have 10. Takes 9 to upgrade a weapon to +5. Let's go ahead and get that Uchigatana upgraded. Let's see, I think that's the only real new thing we've gotten that's worth it. We can't use most of these yet. We can use the Gargoyle Axe now. That's tempting. It's a fun weapon. It's a fun weapon, and the base damage is pretty competitive with the Claymore. Swings a little bit faster, too. But let's go ahead and get the Uchigatana first, because it is more immediately useful. And besides, you can really pass up using a katana in a game that has them. Alright. That scale, the Uchigatana is designed to scale with Dex. Let's go ahead and, you can see here we've got 224 physical damage with the Claymore. You fit the base plus the scaling we get. And you can see the C and the C that's using both of our strength and dexterity, which are right now almost the same thing. We switch to the Uchigatana, we're getting a much lower total. It's 170, so we lose about, 50 points of damage. But in practice, it swings faster, and enemies that would take multiple hits, you can see that on the bottom left, for auxiliary, we deal bleed damage. And that's the key to beating that boss I mentioned. So we're going to go ahead and nether out of the swamp, change back into some normal clothes. And yeah, let's go ahead and do mostly, more or less, full samurai. Since we're going to, can we equip this? We can't equip all this. Yes. How can I lost my train of thought, getting distracted by that spearman there? Well, regardless, we'll go ahead and deal with the knight up here first. One of the guys from last time asked if we dealt with him. I think it's about time we make that a reality. You actually can get a... Oh, I didn't quite get the backstab. There we go. And... nice. And it got... and another weapon we can't use. Maybe if I end up taking this guy into New Game Plus, I may end up getting enough strength to use. So if I remember, it actually isn't that high a strength requirement. I mean, you'd think with a giant sword like that guy was using, it would be quite a bit, but it's what, 32, I believe? 32, yeah. Yeah, it's out of reach for our normal build. Maybe not entirely. Yeah, we'll think about it.